Harper Teen and Harper Audio present The Queen's Resistance by Rebecca Ross, performed by Suzanne Elise Freeman and Charlie Thurston. Part 1. The Return, October 1566. 1. The Enemy's Daughter, Lord McQuin's territory, Castle Finn. Brienna. The castle was brimming with laughter and dinner preparations when Cartier and I entered the hall, blue passion cloaks on our backs, the night breeze tangled in our hair. I came to a stop in the heart of the grand room to admire the hanging tapestries, the high arch of the ceiling that melted into smoky shadows, the mullioned windows on the eastern wall. There was a fire roaring in a glazed hearth, and the women of the castle were setting the best pewter and silver on the trestle tables. They did not take note of me, for I was still a stranger to them, and I watched as a group of young girls decorated the table spines with a current of pine boughs and dark red flowers. A boy was rushing behind them to light a mountain range of candles, his eyes clearly taken with one of the auburn-haired girls. For a moment, it would almost seem as if this castle and these people had never known the darkness and oppression of the Lannon family's reign. And yet I wondered what wounds remained in their hearts, in their memories, after surviving a tyrannical king for 25 years. Brienna. Cartier came to a gentle stop at my side. He stood a safe distance away from me, a full arm's length. Although I could still feel the memory of his touch, I could still taste his lips on mine. We stood together quietly, and I knew he too was soaking in the clamor and rustic beauty of the hall, that he was still trying to adjust to what our lives were about to become, now that we had returned home to the Queen's realm of Maevana. I was the adopted daughter of Davin McQuin, a fallen lord who had been in hiding for the past 25 years, who had finally returned to light his hall and restore his people. And Cartier, my former instructor, was the lord of the House of Morgan, the lord of the Swift, Aidan Morgan. I could hardly find the will to call him by such a name. It was one I would have never imagined him possessing throughout all the years I had known him in the southern kingdom of Valenia, when I had been his pupil and he had been my teacher, a master of knowledge. I thought of how our lives had intertwined from the very first moment I had met him when I was accepted into the prestigious Magnolia House, a Valenian school for the 5 passions of life. I had assumed that he was Valenian. He had taken on a Valenian name, was polished in etiquette and passion, and had lived nearly all of his life in the Southern Kingdom. And yet he had been far more than that. What kept you? I startled, Jourdain taking me by surprise as he stepped into my view, his eyes sweeping me from head to toe, as if he expected me to have a scratch, which almost struck me as humorous, because 3 days ago, we had ridden into battle with Isolde Kavanagh, Maevana's rightful queen. I had donned armor, streaked blue woad across my face, braided my hair, and wielded a sword in Isolde's name, not knowing if I was going to live through the revolution. But I had fought for her, as had Cartier and Jourdain, and with her to challenge Gilroy Lannon, a man who should never have been king of this land. Together, we had brought him and his family down in the span of a morning, a bloody yet victorious sunrise. And now Jourdain was acting as if I had been darting through battle once more, all because I was late for dinner. I had to remind myself to be understanding. I was not accustomed to fatherly fussing. I had lived my entire life not knowing who my blood father was. And oh, how regretfully I knew now who I had descended from. I pushed his name from my mind, focusing instead on the man standing before me, the man who had adopted me as his own months ago, when the two of us joined our knowledge to plot a rebellion against King Lannon. Cartier and I had much to talk about. And don't look at me like that, Father. We're back in.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?